Back to business and immigration law update. This will be presented here by Attorney Ramesh Khurana, who is the founder and chief commanding attorney at law at the Khurana Law Firm, located in Gaithersburg, Maryland. The moderator here is Attorney Kenneth Haber, who hails from Boyds, Maryland. Today, Attorney Haber has plenty of questions for Attorney Khurana regarding E-3 visa petition for Australian citizens. Let's take a look.
Welcome. This is the Capitol Forum, and I'm Kenneth Haber. I'm a former assistant U.S. attorney, a former senior attorney in the Office of Inspector General, and I do healthcare law. Work out of Boyds, Maryland. With me is Ramesh Khurana. Ramesh is an immigration attorney. Ramesh works out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. Right now we're here to ask Ramesh some immigration questions because he's one of the best immigration attorneys I know. He's worked on my wife's immigration status in the past and others that I know, and I wouldn't put anybody's hands into an attorney that I didn't trust totally. And Ramesh, I trust totally.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really value your trust.
Well, thank you. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right.
We used to be neighbors in a office complex just 2 doors down. Ramesh, what's the E-3 visa and who are eligible?
This E-3 visa is meant only for Australian nationals. And now, as a result of E-3 visa, Australians, they really find themselves in a very privileged position. Now, they have access to a dedicated visa, which is really much easier and less costly to obtain than the traditional H-1B visa. You know, we have been talking about H-1B visa all the time.
Yes.
So now we have got an opportunity to talk about E-3 visa. So, in nutshell, this is exclusively reserved for Australian nationals.
How did this come about?
You know, in fact, this is as a result of an agreement between USA and Australia, and this is called the Australia-United States Free Trade Agreement, or ASFTA, and this agreement was signed in 2005. So, it has been around for the last 12 years, but it has not been always fully utilized. Yeah.
This is in addition to the H-1B visas?
Yes. In fact, there are, as I said, this is a dedicated visa for Australian nationals, and every fiscal year there is a quota of 10,500.
In addition to the 85,000.
In addition to 85, you remember that number.
Oh yes, it was like yesterday.
Yeah. So, 10,500 visas, E-3 visas, which are reserved for Australian nationals. These are in addition to H-1B visa numbers of 85,000. Yes.
Well, you know, you would think that there would be some sort of special relationship between the United States and Australia because of the fact we have such similar backgrounds coming out of England.
That's right. Yeah, you know that history very well.
Yes, and
yeah.
they were with us in World War I, World War II. So, in any event, what is the requirements to qualify for an E-3 visa?
You know, the most important requirement is that the applicant has to be of an Australian nationality. So, that's the foremost requirement. If somebody is not an Australian national, stop here. There is no further inquiry.
If they are, what else is required? Do they have to put so much money into investments? Do they have to have a job available, or what's the requirement?
You know, primarily it is meant for professionals, like when the professionals want to come and work in the United States. The most important thing is there should be a legitimate offer of employment in the United States. Of course, not in Australia, because people are going to work in the United States. And the position for which this person is going to work, that should qualify for the specialty occupation employment. This is another important point. So, this is more or less same as we talk about H-1B petition, which is also a specialty occupation. And other important thing is that the stay has to be purely of temporary nature. So, what this person has to do, this person has to show and demonstrate that this person has very strong ties with Australia, and this person is keeping maybe some of the assets or bank accounts or home, those kinds of factors which would prove the strong ties with Australia.
That they're coming back to Australia.
Yeah, exactly. Because that would show that this person is here purely for the temporary stay, so long as this job offer continues.
How long can that temporary stay be?
That's a good question. E-3 visa is approved for a period of 2 years to begin with, but the good news is it can be approved for an indefinite period of time, unlike H-1B. Like H-1B is approved only for a maximum period of 6 years, and it is extended beyond 6 years under certain conditions. But E-3 visa can be approved for an indefinite period of time, so long as the person continues to qualify for the job.
What about the spouses of the E-3 visa holders? Can they work in the United States? Can they get some sort of visa?
That's the beauty of this visa. Earlier this was a major issue. When this agreement was signed in 2005, to begin with, the spouses of E-3 visa holders, they were not allowed to work in the United States, which was a kind of great disincentive. Like, why a professional who has a professional wife would like to come to the United States when the wife is sitting at home and unable to work. So, now the spouses of E-3 visa holders, they are also allowed to work in the United States. So, what they have to do is, I have seen in my practice, Ken, let us say the wife is holding an E-3 visa and husband is holding H-1B. Now, if the husband loses his H-1B position or job, this husband can come on E-3 visa because of his Australian wife. And once on E-3 visa, now he can apply for the employment authorization. So, as soon as the conversion to E-3 visa takes place, employment authorization will also be extended.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. And this can go on indefinitely.
Indefinitely. That's true. And that's the beauty, as I said. It has certain advantages as compared to H-1B visa. First of all, the fees which are payable to the Department of Homeland Security, those are lesser than the fees payable for H-1B visa holders, because in the H-1B petition there is a fee of $500, which is the anti-fraud fee or fraud prevention fee, which is not to be paid for E-3 visa holders. I tell you another beauty of this visa. Let us say that person is sitting in Australia and this person has never come to the United States, and this person procures a job offer. So, what can be done is, in order to obtain a visa, the employer has to file the LCA, which we call it a labor condition application. Once the labor condition application is certified and there is a job offer, along with the job offer, and you have to show some documentation about the bona fide of the employer, like it's really in business in the United States. Maybe this employer can provide a copy of a tax return and other corporate documents. So, the beneficiary of E-3 visa can apply for a visa in Australia or even overseas. So, the person will make an appointment, go to the US consulate. I have seen, sometimes people are sitting in California or let us say Seattle. So, they are just across the border in a way. So, they can cross the border either in Mexico or in Vancouver, make an appointment, and they can basically present the documents with the certified labor condition application, and this person will be granted E-3 visa if found eligible. Very, very beneficial for 2 years.
Are they easier to obtain than the H-1B, or are they just as difficult?
Again, as I said, the position available should be for the specialty occupation. So, when we say that the position is a specialty occupation, we need to demonstrate that the minimum education requirement for doing this particular offered job is a bachelor degree. So, that is number one. And number two, then you have to prove that this person has the education or a combination of education and work experience in the particular field. Let us say a person wants to work in the IT field, but if this person has done bachelor in business, obviously his education is not related to the field for which the job has been offered to him. So, this is going to be problematic nowadays, but if this person has been working in the IT field for the last 9 years. So, what we do is we obtain an evaluation report for every block of 3 years of work experience. The professors of the universities who have been permitted by dean to give credits for work experience, for every block of 3 years of work experience, this person can have the benefit of 1 year education. So, that way we obtain the equivalency report, and the equivalency report would say that the combination of education and work experience is equivalent to, let us say, bachelor in computer science and bachelor in information system. So, then this report would demonstrate that this person's education is in the related field for which the job has been offered. So, this is a trick. So, we started paying attention to this aspect during the last 2 years or so, when USCIS started raising questions like, show us how this is a specialty occupation when this is a this is an IT position and a person is holding a business degree. So, that's the way we basically legitimately demonstrate that he has the necessary combination of education and work experience. So, if we do things like that, it's not a problem. And second thing I wanted to share with you, Ken, of course, we talked about like people going to Vancouver or Mexican US Embassy and obtaining the adjudication of E-3 visa, but that is not the only option. Let us say a person for some reason does not want to go outside the country, and this person can apply for change of status while sitting in the United States. And if this person has to apply for the change of status, again the petition form which is to be used for the purpose of E-3 visa is exactly the same as that of H-1B, which is form I-129. Only thing is supplemental will change for E-3 visa. So, other good thing is now there is no premium processing at this point while we are talking, because premium processing got stopped as from April 3rd up to 6 months. So, we do not know when this premium processing will be reintroduced for H-1B, but for E-3 visa there is a premium processing. You know, just last week I happened to file under the premium processing E-3 visa petition. It got approved in 6-7 days. So, I won't say it's much easier, but as an immigration lawyer, one has to make an evaluation whether it's an appropriate case for E-3 visa or not. But once you can demonstrate to USCIS that it satisfies all the regulatory requirements, like I said, the person is of Australian nationality, person is holding a bachelor degree minimum in the related field, and if not, then combination of education and work experience, and of course, there is a job offer. Other thing you have to make sure that wages which are offered to the employee, now those meet the requirements of industry standard. Like in the ordinary course, if a person who is not having any kind of immigration support like H-1B or E-3, if a person who is a United States citizen or a green card holder, if that person is getting paid, let us say $80,000 for doing the same type of job duties, then this person also should be paid $80,000. No employer should abuse the immigration status of the person by offering him the minimum wage level, because there are 4 wage levels, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, sometimes people would just pick wage level 1, but that's not a fair way of doing it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, the people who are dependent upon the visa are often the targets of predatory employers because of the fact that they need the visa. In this particular situation, if a person loses his job when he has the E-3, does he have any more time than the H-1B to get another job? Or?
Yes, yes. Fortunately, as per the new rule which came into being as from January 17th of 2017, a person has 60-day grace period.
Very good.
Within 60 days, this person can find a new job and apply for it. Person doesn't lose the status.
Very good. Is that just the E-3 or is that the H-1B as well?
Oh, so this grace period is available to H-1Bs also as from January 17th.
Very good. Well, I'd like to thank you very much for coming in. I see that our time is up, and we'll have to have you in very shortly again for some of the other topics we have.
It will be my great pleasure, Ken, and thank you very much.
Thank you.